The phone vibrates at 3:47 a.m. The screen burns your eyes in the darkness. Emergency alert, ballistic missile threat inbound. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. Your heart doesn't race yet. The brain refuses. It searches for logic, for context, for the mistake that must have been made. But outside the sound begins. Not sirens at first, footsteps, running. A car door slams so hard the echo travels through your walls. Someone screams a name you don't recognize. The air in your room changes weight. You sit up. The alert repeats. Your hands shake as you unlock the screen. No service. The Wi-Fi icon blinks once and dies. In that instant, the infrastructure you never thought about collapses silently around you. The world hasn't ended, but the ending has started. You have no time to process grief or disbelief. Emotion is a luxury measured in minutes you don't possess. The first thing you must do is override your own nervous system. Panic will kill you faster than radiation. Your body wants to freeze or flee. You must force it to think. Stand up. Say your name out loud. Speak the facts you can confirm. Alert received. Threat inbound. Time unknown. The act of vocalizing creates cognitive distance. It transforms terror into data. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. This is not meditation. This is mechanical survival. Your prefrontal cortex needs oxygen to make decisions. Adrenaline will flood your blood regardless, but you can choose whether it paralyzes or propels you. Count backward from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then move. The second action determines everything that follows. Location. You assess your environment in seconds, not minutes. Are you indoors or exposed? If you are inside a structure, move to the most interior space immediately. Basement if available. A bathroom with no external walls. A hallway with no windows. The core of the building. Every layer of material between you and the outside air is a shield. Concrete is best. Brick is good. Wood is better than nothing. If you are in a high rise, do not go to the roof. Do not go outside. Move to the center stairwell and descend as low as the structure allows. If you are outdoors when the alert sounds, your options narrow violently. Find the nearest concrete structure within sprinting distance. A parking garage, a subway entrance, a municipal building. If none exist, find a ditch, a drainage culvert, anything below ground level. Lie flat. Cover your head. The blast wave travels faster than sound. The flash of light precedes the shock wave by seconds. If you see the flash, you have 3 to 5 seconds before the pressure wave hits. Turn away. Close your eyes. Open your mouth slightly to equalize pressure and protect your eardrums. These are not dramatic actions. They are mechanical and ugly, and they save lives. The third imperative is sealing your environment against invisible threat. Radiation does not announce itself. It does not glow. It does not hum. It rides on dust particles, so fine you cannot see them. Once inhaled, they lodge in lung tissue and bone marrow. The body becomes its own poison. You move fast now. Grab any cloth, a towel, a shirt, a scarf. Wet it if water is within arm's reach. Place it over your nose and mouth. This is not a surgical mask. It will not stop a virus, but it will trap particulate matter. If you are in your shelter space, begin sealing gaps immediately. Stuff towels under doors. Use duct tape if you have it. Tape over vents. Cover window seams. You are creating a crude airlock. The goal is not perfection. The goal is reduction. Every percentage point of filtration matters. If you have plastic sheeting, use it. Tape it over windows and doorways. Create a barrier between the interior air and the compromised exterior. The instinct to open a window and look outside will be overwhelming. Resist it. Curiosity in the first 30 minutes is lethal. The air outside may already carry isotopes of cesium, iodine, strontium. You cannot see them. You cannot smell them. You will not feel them enter your body, but they will. The fourth action is ruthless prioritization. You have seconds to gather what extends your survival window, not what comforts you, not what you love, what keeps you alive. Water first. Grab every bottle within reach. Fill containers from the tap while pressure still exists. Municipal water systems fail within hours of grid collapse. If the pipes still flow, take everything you can. A bathtub holds 50 gallons. Fill it. Next, a flashlight. Not your phone's light. A real flashlight with batteries. Your phone is now a finite resource. Its battery is time. Use it only for critical communication or information. Grab any medication you require daily. Insulin, blood pressure medication, inhalers. You will not be able to refill prescriptions. Pharmacies will be ransacked or unreachable within 6 hours. Take a radio if you own one. Battery-powered or hand crank. MFM capability. Emergency broadcast channels will be the only reliable information source once cell towers fail. Do not pack clothes. Do not grab photos. Do not search for documents. Every second spent choosing is a second lost. You are not packing for a trip. You are buying time measured in hours. The fifth and final action in the initial window is communication. One message. One contact. Choose carefully. Text. Do not call. Voice networks collapse under load. SMS messages queue and send when bandwidth opens. The message must be precise. Your name, your location, your status, your intended shelter. Do not write essays. Do not ask questions. Information flows one direction now. Outbound. If you have children in another location, send the message to them. If you are alone, send it to the person who will search for you. Do not send multiple messages to multiple people. Network saturation is real. Every redundant message delays critical emergency communication. Once sent, turn off cellular data. Preserve battery. You will not receive replies. The networks are already drowning. If you have a landline, use it for one call. Landlines route through different infrastructure. They sometimes survive longer than cellular, but do not wait for confirmation. Do not linger. Make the call. State the facts. Hang up. Move. You are now 10 minutes past the alert. The world outside has changed in ways you cannot yet comprehend. The sound of distant thunder rolls across the sky, but it is not weather. It is pressure. Somewhere beyond your line of sight, the atmosphere has been violated. Shock waves ripple outward at the speed of sound. You do not know the yield. You do not know the altitude. You do not know if it was a ground burst or an air burst. These variables determine fallout patterns, radiation intensity, survival zones. But you do not have this information, and you will not for hours. so you act on assumptions. Assume the worst. Assume contamination. Assume isolation. You have done what the first 10 minutes demand. Now begins the harder part. Waiting. The first hour is psychological warfare against yourself. Every instinct you possess will betray you. The instinct to check your phone obsessively. The instinct to peek outside. The instinct to believe this is temporary. You sit in your sealed interior room. The air is warm and still. You hear your own breathing. You hear nothing else. The silence is vast and wrong. Cities are never silent. Even at night, there is ambient hum, traffic, bike systems. The electrical grid itself emits a frequency most people never notice until it stops. Now it has stopped. The absence is physical. You check your phone, no signal. You check again 2 minutes later, still nothing. The battery is at 73%. You turn it off completely. You will check once per hour. Not before. This is discipline. You count your water supply. 4 bottles. 16 ounces each. 64 ounces total. If rationed correctly, this is 3 days for one person. You mark each bottle with a pen. You will drink 8 ounces every 6 hours. No more. Thirst is not an emergency. Dehydration is. You inventory your food. A protein bar. A bag of trail mix. Some crackers. Maybe 1,000 calories. This is not a meal plan. This is a timer. You are measuring how long you can remain stationary. The radio comes to life with static. You turn the dial slowly. Most frequencies are dead. Then a voice, mechanical, calm. This is the emergency alert system. A nuclear detonation has been confirmed in Eastern Europe. Fallout projections are being calculated. All civilians are advised to shelter in place for a minimum of 48 hours. Do not travel. Do not go outside. Await further instruction. The message repeats. You listen 3 times to ensure you heard correctly. Eastern Europe. Not here. Not yet. But the word yet hangs in the air like a blade. You do not feel relief. You feel the slow creep of realization. This is not one event. This is the beginning of a sequence. Nuclear doctrine is not improvisational. It is scripted. If one weapon is used, others follow. Retaliation is automatic. Command and control systems are designed to survive decapitation strikes. Even if leadership is gone, the systems continue. They launch, they target. They fulfill pre-programmed instructions written decades ago by people who are now dead. You are listening to the sound of a machine eating itself. 2 hours pass. You have checked the radio twice. The message has not changed. You ration another sip of water. Your mouth is dry, but you resist drinking more. Outside you hear movement. Footsteps on pavement. Voices low and urgent. You move to the door and press your ear against it. A conversation. 2 people. Maybe neighbors. One voice is frantic, the other is cold. They are arguing about a car, about gasoline, about whether the roads are still passable. The frantic voice says they need to leave the city. The cold voice says there is nowhere to go. The argument escalates. You hear a shove, a shout, then silence, footsteps receding. You step back from the door. Your hand is on the lock. You do not open it. This is the moment when social contracts dissolve. Not dramatically, not with violence at first, but with the slow erosion of trust. Everyone is afraid, everyone is calculating, and in those calculations, strangers become threats. You are not cruel for staying silent. You are simply playing the same game everyone else is now playing. Survival is no longer cooperative. It is competitive. The third hour brings a new sound, a low rhythmic hum. You cannot identify it at first. It is not mechanical, not human. Then you realize it is wind, but wrong. The air pressure has shifted. You feel it in your ears. The same sensation as descending rapidly in an airplane. The blast wave, hours old now, has disturbed atmospheric equilibrium. Weather patterns are collapsing and reforming. If the detonation was large enough, it has injected millions of tons of debris into the upper atmosphere. This is the beginning of the nuclear winter scenario. Not immediate, not today. But the process has started. Particulate matter will diffuse across hemispheres. Sunlight will dim, temperatures will drop, growing seasons will shorten. These are abstractions now, but in 6 months they will be the governing reality. You write this down, not because it helps, but because the act of writing creates psychological structure. You are narrating your own survival, and narrators do not die in the first act. 4 hours, you check your phone, power it on. Wait 30 seconds. No signal. Battery at 68%. You power it off. The routine is becoming ritual. Ritual is control. You eat half the protein bar. Chew slowly. Your body wants to consume it all. You deny the urge. Hunger is not starvation, not yet. You drink 4 ounces of water. You mark the bottle. You are methodical. This is how you survive the slow hours, not with heroism. With accounting, outside the wind has picked up. You hear something scraping against the building. Metal, maybe a loose gutter, maybe debris. You do not investigate. You sit, you breathe, you wait. 6 hours. The radio crackles again. A different voice this time. Female. Measured. Fallout has been detected in multiple regions. Shelter-in-place orders remain in effect. Do not consume tap water until further notice. Do not go outside. Radiation levels are being monitored. Updates will be provided every 2 hours. You absorb this. Tap water is compromised. The bottles you filled earlier are now the only safe supply. You look at them, 64 ounces. Suddenly it feels like nothing. You calculate. If you stretch it to 4 ounces per day, you have 16 days. But 4 ounces is not sustainable. The body needs more. You will weaken. Cognitive function will decline. At some point, the risk of staying will exceed the risk of leaving. But that point is not now. Not today. You seal the bottles and place them in the coolest part of the room. Heat accelerates evaporation. Every drop matters. 8 hours. You hear a helicopter. Distant. The sound fades quickly. Military, perhaps, or news media, or evacuation. You do not know. You will never know. The helicopter does not return. The sky is silent again. You think about the people in the aircraft, what they see from above, the grid of streets, the stillness, the absence of movement. Cities are defined by motion, cars, pedestrians, delivery trucks. When motion stops, a city becomes a tomb. You wonder how many people are still in their homes, how many tried to flee, how many made it. Statistics you will never see. Numbers that will be argued over by historians decades from now. If there are historians, if there are decades, 12 hours, halfway through the first day, you have consumed 16 ounces of water, half a protein bar. Your body is stable. Your mind is fracturing at the edges. Isolation does this. The human brain is social. It expects input, conversation, feedback. In the absence of external stimulation, it begins to create its own. You hear voices that are not there, footsteps in empty hallways. You recognize this as a symptom, not psychosis. Just stress. You counter it with structure. You write again. Hour 12. Status stable. Supplies adequate. No contact. The words are anchors. They hold you in place. 16 hours. The light outside is fading. You have no electricity. The room darkens gradually. You use the flashlight sparingly. 2 minutes every hour. Just enough to check your surroundings, to confirm nothing has changed. The darkness is total when the flashlight is off. No street lights. No glow from neighboring windows. No moon visible through the sealed window covering. You sit in blackness and listen. The wind, your breath. The creak of the building settling. This is what the world sounds like when civilization pauses. Not silence, but the absence of human noise. You find it almost peaceful. Then you hate yourself for thinking that. 20 hours, you sleep in fragments. 15 minutes, wake, listen, sleep again. The body refuses to rest deeply. Survival mode overrides circadian rhythm. You dream of light, of your phone ringing, of normalcy. You wake disappointed. The room is still dark. The air is still stale. Nothing has changed. You drink 4 ounces of water. You do not eat. You are not hungry. Fear suppresses appetite. You mark the time in your notebook. The pages are filling. You are documenting something. You do not know what. Maybe evidence. Maybe therapy. Maybe nothing. 24 hours. You have survived the first day. The radio crackles at dawn. Fallout levels are declining in some areas. Shelter-in-place orders remain in effect for an additional 48 hours minimum. Aid stations are being established in designated zones. Do not attempt to travel until clearance is given. You listen to the coordinates. They mean nothing. You have no map, no GPS, no way to navigate even if you tried. But the message itself is significant. It means structure still exists. Somewhere, people are still giving orders. Systems are still functioning. This is not total collapse. Not yet. You allow yourself the smallest measure of hope. Not hope for restoration, just hope for continuity, that tomorrow will arrive, that you will see it. You stand slowly, your legs are stiff. You stretch. You drink 4 ounces of water. You eat the remaining half of the protein bar. You check your phone. 61% battery, no signal. You power it off. You have done everything correctly. You followed the 5 principles. You controlled panic. You found shelter. You sealed your environment. You rationed resources. You preserved communication capability. These actions did not guarantee survival, but they created the possibility. And possibility is all survival ever is. You sit back down. You open your notebook. You write, day 1 complete. Shelter intact. Still breathing. You underline the last 2 words. They are the only truth that matters. The world outside has changed in ways you cannot yet see. Governments are scrambling. Militaries are mobilizing. Populations are dying. But inside this room and this moment you're still alive. And that is enough for now. The siren was only the beginning. The real test is not the explosion. It is the days that follow. The silence, the isolation, the slow realization that normal is not returning. Not today. Not this week, maybe not ever. But you have learned something in these 24 hours. You have learned that survival is not dramatic, it is not heroic. It is small, methodical actions repeated in sequence. It is discipline when instinct screams to panic. It is waiting when every nerve demands action. It is the refusal to give up when giving up would be easier.